Hi, friends. Welcome to TogetherTime. I'm Mr. Mark, and I'm so glad you're here. Guess who else is here? Our special friend today, Dr. Zhenya, Dr. Z.
Hi, friends. Good to see you.
So, Dr. Z, tell us a little bit about what you do here at church.
I am a pastor, so I talk to people a lot, and I pray with people, and I'm present with people. And then I get to do fun stuff like this.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Being present, that's the really important thing. That's one of the best things that I can think of for a pastor to do, is just to be with people, really be with them. Well, we're glad you are with us. And it's time to find out what our theme today is. And we're not just going to tell you. We got to make it exciting. Let's get a drum roll going first. Here we go. Drum roll.
Stand.
That's right. Today's theme is stand. And this is going to shock you. It reminds me of a Bible story. So let me get our Bible, the Book of God's Love. Now, before we read our Bible story, we have to sing the song. This is the Bible, the Book of God's Love. Here we go. This is the Bible, the Book of God's Love. This is the Bible, the Book of God's Love, written by people inspired from above. That was the best part of the song. This is the Bible, the Book of God's Love. And let me get my readers. Oh, our Bible story today is a classic. It's David and Goliath. Now, I'm not just going to read it to you while you just sit there and do nothing but listen and be quiet. We have something for you to do. Now, watch Dr. Z, and she's going to show you. There are 3 names that you need to listen for. The first one is King Saul. Now, whenever you hear King Saul, you have to say,
Huzzah!
Just like that. Whenever you hear the name of the giant, Goliath, you have to make 4 big giant steps like this. Those are good giant step shoes, Dr. Z. And finally, whenever you hear the name David, you pat your chest 3 times as you say, stand for God.
Stand for God.
That's it. Okay, put on your listening ears. Here goes the story. King Saul
Huzzah!
and the Israelite army stood on one mountain and looked across the valley. They saw the Philistine army standing on another mountain. The 2 armies stared at each other when down walked Goliath, the Philistine giant. Goliath challenged anyone in the Israelite army to fight him one-on-one. If Goliath was victorious, the Israelites would be forced to serve the Philistines. But if an Israelite won, the Philistines would have to serve the Israelites. King Saul,
Huzzah!
wondered if anyone would come to help. Finally, one person came forward, a shepherd boy named David.
Stand for God.
King Saul
Huzzah!
thought David
Stand for God.
was much too small to take on Goliath. But David
Stand for God.
knew he could do it. He knew God would protect him just the way God had protected him from lions and bears when he was a shepherd. Then David
Stand for God.
found 5 smooth stones. When David
Stand for God.
walked down into the valley to meet Goliath, the giant laughed and mocked David.
Stand for God.
Then David
Stand for God.
took one of those smooth stones, threw it with his sling, and hit Goliath in the head. The giant toppled to the ground. When the Philistine army saw what had happened to Goliath, they ran away. King Saul
Huzzah!
and the Israelites cheered for David,
Stand for God.
who had defeated Goliath. But David
Stand for God.
knew he didn't do it by himself. God had been standing with him the whole time. You know, on the outside, this story may look like it's all about David standing up against Goliath, but there is someone else in this story who makes all the difference. It's God standing with David. It's God standing for kindness instead of bullying. That's the real message. We become the best version of ourselves, not based on who we stand against, but who we stand with and what we stand for. What? Oh, do you hear that? That's the sound of the majestic, the wonderful, the noble kazoo, letting us know that it is once again time for
Joyful Noise, the portion of TogetherTime devoted to Psalm 100, verse 1. Make a joyful noise to the Lord, all the earth. Let's find out what our joyful noise is today.
Here's the Mara funny
Jules! Where is Jules? We're supposed to meet here 10 minutes ago. Jules! Oh, there you are. We need to get working on a history project. It's due tomorrow, Jules.
Jules? Jules? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. That's what they used to call me back in the day.
That's what I called you yesterday.
Well, not anymore. Now I am Dangeroni.
Dangeroni?
Yeah, Murphy, it's like danger and macaroni put together. I really like macaroni.
Yeah, I get it. Why the name change?
Because Jules was boring. She always played it safe, followed the rules. But Dangeroni lives on the edge. Dangeroni likes to live dangerously. Sometimes Dangeroni talks about herself in the third person.
That's not dangerous. It's just annoying.
Dangerously annoying?
I guess. What kind of dangerous things do you do?
Well, you know how you're not supposed to go swimming until 30 minutes after you eat? Well, Dangeroni only waits 28 minutes. Dangeroni.
Well, that's not so dangerous.
Oh, yeah? You know how they say if you make a funny face, it could freeze like that? Check this out. Dangeroni.
Well, that doesn't sound too dangerous either. What happened to your hand?
I thought I needed to do something really dangerous, like juggling fire.
And you burned your hand? Oh, no!
No, Murphy, I was reading a book about juggling and I gave myself a paper cut. Oh. Face it, Murphy, I am the least dangerous person in the whole world.
Well, you're sometimes a danger to yourself.
Oh, thank you, Murphy. That means a lot.
Why do you want to be Dangeroni anyway?
So people will think I'm cool and interesting and tough. So people will like me.
I like you.
Yeah, but that's not because I'm dangerous. It's because you're nice. I want to be liked the way people like a firefighter or an astronaut. You know, people who do dangerous stuff.
But those people don't do dangerous stuff to be cool. They do it to help others. They only do dangerous things when they absolutely have to. Do you have to juggle fire?
No,
Is swimming only 28 minutes after you eat going to help anybody?
not really.
How about instead of trying to be cool and dangerous, just be you? That's plenty.
Okay, fine. But can you still call me Dangeroni, at least for the rest of the day?
Okay, Dangeroni. Let's go finish our history project.
I was thinking, later we could volunteer at church. Mr. Mark has an idea for a project and needs help.
Helping Mr. Mark with one more of his crazy ideas? Now that's dangerous.
Oh, yeah.
And now we come to snack time, where we get to sit with one of our TogetherTime friends and have a snack. This has been Snack Time. Tune in next week to sit down and have a snack with another TogetherTime friend.
Hello, Wonder Seekers, and welcome back to my lab. I am Professor Science Pants, and together with my assistant, BibleBot 3000, we are going to explore the wonders of God's amazing world through science. Today, we will perform the ball bounce experiment. For this experiment, we need a basketball. We need a tennis ball, a hard surface, and plenty of room. First, let's drop the tennis ball and see how high it bounces. All right, not bad, but I wonder if we can make it go even higher. You know, this time, let's hold the tennis ball directly on top of the basketball and drop them together and see what happens. Oh! Wow! Would you look at that? Oh, the tennis ball went much higher this time. How does science do that? And what does it have to do with the Bible?
Professor Science Pants! Professor Science Pants!
Yes, BB3K, do you have an answer for us?
Affirmative. Both balls fell at the same speed, but the bigger ball is heavier and gained more energy during the fall. When the lighter tennis ball bounced on the heavier basketball, they exchanged energy, and the lighter ball flew off with some of the energy of a heavier ball. It reached way higher than when it was on its own.
That is it! BB3K, you are brilliant!
Aw, my sensors are blushing.
In our Bible story, the shepherd boy David faces the giant Goliath. But David isn't alone. He has something, or rather someone, standing with him. God. And the power of God is way bigger than our biggest problems. The power of God's love helps us soar. Let's see that ball bounce experiment one more time. And Wonder Seekers, if you try this at home, it may be best to go outside because it's not always easy to predict how high or in which direction the ball will bounce. Let's try that experiment again. Oh, oh, yes. Oh, thank you. Now, yes. Here we go. Ew. Ah. Oh. B. Oh. Wow, that was amazing! Wonder Seekers, thanks for joining us, and we hope to see you again as we explore the wonders of God's amazing world through science!
Hi, friends. Welcome back. So I wanted to ask you a question. When was a time that a friend stood with you when you really needed to feel together with someone, like you had a friend who could stand with you? You know, I want you to remember that no matter what you're going through, no matter how big your problems might feel, that you have people who are ready to stand with you. Your family, your friends, people like Dr. Z and me and other people here at the church, and especially God. We love you, and you never stand alone. And that brings me to a closing prayer. And this is going to be a stand prayer experience. So the first thing I want you to do is think about someone who might need a friend to stand with them, someone who might feel alone. Maybe it's someone who's been picked on, or they just feel like they're on the outside. And having you stand with them could make all the difference in the world. And I want you to hold that person in your heart. And it's one thing to say we stand with people, but sometimes we just need to physically do it so we can practice it. So as you're holding that person in your heart, let's stand. Stand for that person. Okay, now let's sit down. And now what I want you to do is think about something you can stand for. Kindness, being more patient with a brother or sister or a grown-up, being a helper at home. Think about that thing that you can stand for. Hold that in your heart. And let's stand again. And now we sit down. And remember that in all things, God stands with you. Amen. Do not be afraid.
Do not be afraid.
God is with you.
God is with you.
Everywhere you go.
Everywhere you go.
God is there.
God is there.
Do not be afraid.
Do not be afraid.
God is with you.
God is with you.
Everywhere you go.
Everywhere you go.
God is there.
God is there.
Dr. Z, thank you so much for being with us. Thank you for being a friend who we know can stand with us.
Thank you for having me.
Bye,
Bye.
friends.